Um, Hi. I'm in my sweatpants. I'm looking at, this computer. We're doing a recording both on video and audio. How exciting. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm so excited. I'm also sitting on my bed. Super cozy night. Looking cute, feeling cute. Had a little bit of a romantic night with myself and just really like a really beautiful day today. I I don't know. I feel on the last episode I was talking quite a bit about, well, not quite a bit, but I talked about the feeling of completion. No, feeling complete, not completion. And yes, even when I said it at the previous episode, my mind was a little bit dirty. And it did it again here. Silly rabbit tricks are for adults or those who are exploring things for themselves. Anyways, today's episode, we're talking about placing value within self, which is a very exciting episode, even though my energy is so delightfully chill and cozy. I'm very excited to see what comes forth within this. Yippee-o-ki-yay. This, as per usual, I guess, this talk, chat, little communication sesh here stems from inspiration from real life, myself, people I'm meeting, friends I'm making, people I'm dating, all that fun stuff. And mostly I can only speak for myself. So that's what we're here doing, but chatting about it on a bigger scale as well. Especially in the world of romance and also in the world of community and just connection in general, there's a really big overarching commonality that can exist within being human, that we place the value of ourselves in other people's hands, whether that is consciously doing so or subconsciously doing so. We sort of create an essence of disconnect from ourselves and pain for ourselves, when we displace our worth, our energy, our validation into other people's hands. Now, of course, the conversation of community and support and having the right support system or support systems around is super important and super valid and super real, because really, to me, like in a way, life is a relationship. And that's cute. Because relationship to self, relationship to this fabric, relationship to that plant, relationship to others, relationship to animals, relationship to nature, like just to people, just relationship is so cool. I value human connection and deep, meaningful connection quite high in my value list. And within that value of connection, I know a lot of my path was definitely in the realm of displacing from myself and placing my value, worthiness, attention, and care into other people's hands. And then if they didn't show up in that, there was a part of me that crumbled, and it sort of validated my fears, and it validated my insecurities. It validated the essence of the swimming conversation in my soul. Well, not my soul, my mind and my emotions, that I was not enough. And in this not enoughness, and sort of displacing the power from myself into others, the universe was mirroring and enhancing this pain within me, to call me back to placing the power within myself. And recently, my energy and the energy around dating has been quite high. I went on the apps again for a bit, and then I went off because I was like, I know I don't want to be on the apps, and I know I'm not going to meet my person on the apps. I just know it. Like, sometimes you have intuitive hits and knowings. I just know that. So fair enough. I tried because I was like, maybe just keep the options open, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, Rebecca, you know this. Anyways, went off the apps, and still was sort of finding myself organically meeting people that were highlighting old stories, or highlighting parts of myself that I thought were old stories that were still here to be uplifted and uprooted, to be understood, held, nurtured, cared for, and working on releasing. It was just a full moon. And if you ever do those types of ceremonies or anything, full moon is a great time for releasing old habits, people, places, and things. And new moons typically are great for manifesting, receiving, all of these things. Anyways, because it was a full moon, and based on the experiences of who I was attracting into my life, I have a very big cycle of, well, let's just be real, narcissists, or people who can hold traits of, I'm not here to, I'm not a therapist, I can't, or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, like I can't label anyone anything, especially with such a big term. And as I'm not wanting to sit here and say that, oh, these people are narcissists 100%, it's more, I was thinking about it for myself, it's more for me to gauge my level of safety and my understanding of what I'm stepping into. Am I giving my power away, especially with the concept of narcissism for myself and for others? And I know there's a million other things that can go around any sort of pattern of being around those traits and behaviors. Is I guess, bringing it back to myself, there was like this like deep fear of being sort of stolen from, pulled from, and then just like abandoned in like what I thought was a lesser version of myself after being in contact with someone I felt had these traits or something like that. And this lesson has been really coming up super high for me lately. And I know that when these lessons, like a while ago, I was dealing with rejection. Before that was abandonment. And so all of these things are coming forward to be healed. And so it's kind of exciting. A little bit annoying sometimes when you're like, okay, thank you. We've had a lot of experiences with this. Thank you so much. I hope we're learning enough. Let's move along. But truly, when we connect with our lessons, and we ultimately, in an essence, work to empower ourselves within our insecurities, fears, old patterns, all of these things, we bring the power back into ourselves, and that lesson is in basically no longer needed, or there's parts of it, well, you know what? I'm just going to say it like that. It's no longer needed because it doesn't resonate with you the same way. And so your relationship to it is not necessarily a lesson anymore, as much as like a place of like, oh, cool. Like, shit, I think I conquered quite a bit around it. And as I finished up my whole sort of reevaluation and release, I'm going to say it like that, the release of rejection and the rejection wound, I was like, yes, I feel like, and like silly me, I was like, yes, I feel like this is like my last big lesson. Girlfriend, lessons are for the rest of your life, sweets, like love you. And totally valid that I was excited as well. And valid that like I'm here healing these old wounds and I'm going to be a new version of myself. So of course there's going to be lessons, and I'm looking forward for these lessons to being like newer ones. I have no idea. With the sort of narcissistic, I feel like it was weird for me to say that word. It's a really big word, and I just want you to know that I hold a lot of care and like awareness and um yeah, a lot of care for that word. And again, just a reminder that I use that word and those terms to help me navigate my power. It's not even necessarily about someone else per se. It's more, okay, Rebecca, what do you need? And are you giving your power away? So yeah, recently I really, really, with the help of my friend who's a therapist, I very recently instill in this moment with you all here, am navigating this, I guess, wound around people's with these certain traits. And I had to really sit with it, again, with guidance from my friend who's a therapist, but I had to sit with it and work to understand what parts of myself from my past experienced it, what what did she need in the past when sort of dealing with these sort of circumstances or people or places or events or things, you know. And it's hard for me to even wrap my hand around it fully because I think I'm still working through this actively. And one of the biggest things, and what we're talking about here, is also the essence of honing your power back into your own source of self. And I saw something, I have to think about what it is, but it's in relation to this that, oh shoot, was it? Oh shoot. Oh darn. It was by Peter Crone, who, by the way, love Peter Crone's work. Peter Crone, if you ever hear this, super cool. You're amazing. Um, but Peter Crone basically talks about like freedom in self, freedom in perception, releasing ourselves from stories and narratives and habits and things that can really tie us into, I guess, a place of like pain or something. Again, I can't speak for him, but really great source. I forget, oh shoot, I kind of forget what he said. I'm sure it'll come to me. But basically, I had to understand and realize that I was placing my power outside of myself. And I, in doing so, was showing myself that all of these stories around my energy, sort of victimization of self, I was showing myself in giving my power away and like love her, caring for her, tender heart for her. But I was showing myself that all of those stories about me kind of not being enough were true. And that someone else had power over my power, or power over my energy, or power over my mood, or power over how I showed up in my work. And the victimization that I sat in with myself, again, super valid. And also, as I'm starting to understand this, I'm going, oh my gosh, like, girl, you hold the power. There's no one like you. And this is for us all. Narcissistic stuff or not, whatever patterns or lessons or things you're dealing with, like me, here, you, we hold the power within ourselves. We are the ones that can focus our energy, understand ourselves more, see our brilliance. We're all amazing. We are all super unique. And so, really, truly, when we think about it, if I'm thinking about this for myself, like nobody can take from me. And if they try and it's like real or authentic to them, then like that portion of how they do that is theirs. Great. Does that take away from mine? I used to feel like it, and I used to crumble, and I used to hide, and I used to sit back, and I used to just like kind of watch my, in quotations, my life being played out by somebody else, my dreams being said by somebody else. And it was confusing. It was hard. And I crumbled and I shrunk and I froze. And like, again, like love her, nurture, myself through any of that. And as I'm understanding this concept more, I'm going, oh, like, cutie, you're giving your power away to other people. Nobody's like you. Nobody is like the other. And, bringing it back into myself, like I hold the power of intention. I hold the power of perception. I hold the power of my energy. I can set up more boundaries. Speaking of possible narcissistic sort of patterns, boundaries are really important, and the belief in myself is really important. The confidence in myself is really important. Like, what traits do someone who potentially has narcissistic traits, what traits do they have, right? And it's this, like, I mean, it's typically based off of deep insecurity. Aside from that, and other things, but aside from that, there's either, whether it's false or real, there's a sense of like ego, confidence, doing things better or whatever, right? Like, and that, this is so subjective. And when I look at that, and I look at my wound, and I look at my victimization of self, and I also look at how there's a part of me that was like jealous of how good other people could do things that were either an idea that I had or was their idea. It didn't really matter, but a lot of things where I felt like it was like being taken from me. And so then I had to kind of sit with like, well, first of all, hello, mirrors. So I did question, am I a narcissist? Like, is this something I want to be conscious of? Like, do I steal people's power? Da 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 da. And I thought about it. And, whether or not I really see that the pattern of narcissism was highlighting my lack of confidence, highlighting my lack of belief in myself, and that I just shrunk, and shrunk away, and felt them let them, not let them, but I let myself let them. So it's on me, pull from me. And just FYI, people typically call myself an empath, or I would label myself more in that realm. But either way, it doesn't matter whether it's like narcissist, empathy, whatever. It's like we attract certain things into our life to illuminate. Oh, this is it. I'm getting close to what Peter Crone said. We had, and other people actually as well. But there's this other woman, I don't know her name, but basically we attract people in to highlight our, where we are not free. Boom. It's something like that for Peter Crone. And also other people are talking about like we attract people into our lives to bring forward any like lessons or traits within ourselves, or areas that want to be like healed and taken care of, right? And so if we're placing our power into others, we're sort of also placing our lesson into other people's hands, and we're, I guess, in an essence, not really, in quotations, learning our lesson as deeply as we maybe can be. And the continuation of it showing up in our lives and getting louder is because it's going, hey, like it's time to heal this. Like, hey, we're not hearing it as well. And like, again, being human is so real, and something I preach on all the time on my lives and on here, in the books and everything, in my books. And the essence of humanhood is so real, and our lessons can get louder, and we can still attract in people that can hold these certain very necessary mirrored lessons, whether it's like a mirror or like a 180 mirror, whatever you want to, however you want to see it or view it. And then it's highlighting it to show us where we are not free. Again, that's Peter Crone. Yes, 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 nailed it. Yeah, I knew it would come forward. And so really, when we have these things come up in our lives, they are opportunities for us to deepen our relationship with ourselves and our deepest, darkest, most awesomest, juiciest parts of ourselves, and to, in an essence, create a version of ourselves that like understands it and lives it and loves it and expresses it and expands in it and expands almost like past it, past it, through it, however you want to see that, so that you get to this place of, oh, I hold the power of my energy. I hold the power of my thought and intention. And whether I share it or not, and whether someone else in quotation steals it or not, it doesn't even matter, because this is coming from myself. This is real. And you can't fuck up what's yours. That's a nice little thing that I love tuning into for myself and sharing, is truly, you can't fuck up what's yours. We can cause delays, we can bring forward challenges, we can bring forward lessons, and really, and we have choice as humans. Like, we have choice, which can change a lot of things. And the like lesson, our life, and the things that come forward are here to still strengthen our learnings and our purpose and our level of expansion for our souls and ourselves on this earth. And trust, speaking of all of this, is like trust, and in self, in life, in universe, in God, in spirit, the element of trust, especially within ourselves, especially if we have given our power away to other people. That trust can possibly be something to be nurtured in a very big way. And if you ever want to tap into, well, how can I trust myself more? These are things that I step into in my one-on-ones. I'd be happy to do an episode about it sometime as well. And I think I'm going to sort of start to hum through this episode a little bit, to bring it to a soft landing sometime soon. But in an essence, as we learn to trust ourselves, and as we learn to place our energy, care, and power back within ourselves, I don't know, we just like, there's a new level of connection to our, what maybe were lessons or are still lessons that want to be sort of upheld, and to be nurtured and cared for and released more, and to expand into these newer, more free version of ourselves. Like, everything is here for us. And I know sometimes that can be hard to hear. And I really just want to say it from a place of like, hey, I'm sitting here as the unintentional porn star, been through some shit. The tape comes up all the time, and not to compare at all, because there's no comparison in traumas or pain or lessons. Like, we all have our own sense of ourselves, our uniqueness in our life, right? And just the perception of the opportunity behind challenges, the opportunity behind a lot of narcissists coming forward and not, targeting certain things and energies, and like, yippee, okay, yay, thank you, lesson. And like, actually though, thank you. Because even in the past week or two, I mean, I've been dealing with narcissistic sort of things since childhood, but even in the last week or two, just consciously putting effort into it, I'm already noticing a huge impact on my mindset, energy, behavior, within that cycle. And I just got little butterflies in my tummy, because I'm excited to understand it more, and to release it more, and to ultimately to bring the power back into myself, and to be able to share that essence of the strength of myself with others, and their strength and their uniqueness and their power. And in this place where we can live and uphold each other's power and celebrate and support when needed. And like, yes, like that's where I want to be. And that's who I want to choose to be around. And conscious choice, ooh, like making new choices and creating new habits around lessons or things, and like choosing people like Rebecca. If you notice someone that you feel has tendencies towards what we've been talking about, girl, you have choice. Oh, radical accountability, radical acceptance, like holy camole, and then bringing forward the power of choice, the power of perception, and the power of, oh my gosh, myself. So it can be interesting. It can be shaky. I have been journaling, I've been talking, I've been going on dates, doing things. I've been, just expressing this wound in multiple ways to, I guess, to understand it more, to hear it more, to notice it more, and just, yeah, really, like I said it, but to understand it more so I can have a sense of recognition with myself and then continue to choose to place the power of myself back into my energy. Um, and then hug, and then get a hug, and then hug people, and then, all the things. So that's going to be it for this episode. Um, this is just a bejeezy of glory sitting here in this space with you. I'm excited to share some updates coming up in the maybe near future. And I'm excited to continue to be here. I'm excited for the opportunity of TikTok if it sticks around, at least for right now. I love it. I love my little Instagram moments with you all and talking on the DMs everywhere through TikTok and Instagram. I love it. And keep sending the messages, and I'll keep doing so too. Cute. You're cute. I love you. We're going to press stop for this time. I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.